All right, welcome everyone. Let's go ahead and get this going. It's 12:01. So, welcome to Intiva's Lunch and Learn for somehow August 2023 already. I'll be your presenter again, Ted Brown, Director of Product Management here at Intiva. And today we're going to be talking about unleashing the magic of Microsoft Collaborative Document Editing. Microsoft has built up a fabulous platform for being able to store documents in a cloud environment through your SharePoint, which also is going to be housing your Teams and OneDrive, being able to synchronize some of that data if you're utilizing the data locally on a computer through OneDrive, and then be able to access those documents through web apps such as the online Word, Excel, online PowerPoint, or through installed documents as well, on installed applications on your computer as well, and being able to access this information regardless of where you are and work together as a team on documents in a co-authored collaborative type environment. And that's what we're going to get through this webinar today. We're going to cover in here Microsoft collaborative tools, go through the document co-authoring, go through a little bit of co-authoring tips, and get into some of the limitations that might come up when you're doing a co-authored type of document. Just like other lunch and learns and webinars we've done in the past, please keep any of the questions in the Q&A section, and I'll answer all these questions at the end of this presentation. Also, for anybody that has any ideas for future lunch and learn topics you want to learn more about it, please put it in the Q&A section. Always open to new suggestions out there we can put into our Q4 or upcoming 2024 lunch and learn series. So let's go ahead and jump in. So Microsoft Collaborative Tools, really when I think about this, kind of go through the collaboration effort, and collaborating on documents really enhances companies' efficiencies by enabling real-time input from multiple team members. It fosters diverse participation as well as streamlining communications. This approach promotes quicker decision-making, reduces duplication of efforts, and ensures the collective expertise is harnessed to produce a higher quality and more innovative outcomes. Overall, document collaborative cultivates a dynamic work environment and boosts productivity and drives organization success. I think this is really important as well in a remote type of workforce. Ever since COVID, people are working in a really remote environment. I really think people beforehand were working in that direction anyways, but the COVID experience kind of enhanced the companies going in that remote workforce. And it's really important to make sure that we are connected. And while we're working connected, it's really crucial to maintain seamless communications, allow teams to collaborate and share informations and address challenges in real time. A consistent connection facilitates access to shared resources, applications, data, and enabling remote employees to stay productive and aligning company with objectives. Furthermore, staying connected fosters a sense of belonging, reduces isolation, and promotes a strong team culture, enhances overall morale and engagement with a remote workforce. Now, I'm not saying Microsoft invented all this or allowed all that to happen, but I think utilizing the tool set that Microsoft had put into place in the Office 365 platform will really help companies on the data side of the house and make sure you're actually getting your data quickly updated and make sure it is operated in an enhanced and efficient manner, while making sure that your team stay connected in a remote workforce, that you're working together collectively, working together through a screen share or even in a Teams type chat environment, will help foster their morale and make sure they feel connected with the overall company itself. Now, with Microsoft Collaborative Tools, they have actually created the co-authoring capability of being able to work in the same document at the same time with the main core applications they have, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. Now, they do have some collaborative app specs in Outlook that they have just released, and they won't be covering this in this Lunch and Learn, but we'll be putting that into potential future Lunch and Learn series as well. Now, the requirements is actually really not that much. You need to make sure to have a Microsoft 365 license that includes cloud storage, so the ability to actually put something up in SharePoint. Now, most Microsoft licenses by default will have this. Now, the ones that don't will be the Microsoft Apps for Business or Apps for Enterprise, which is just the locally be able to install the applications locally on your computer. You need to have a cloud storage to be able to co-author these types of documents. You also need to have the application set to be able to work with that. So the web version of Office 365, which again comes with almost all the capabilities with all the licenses in Win 365, Microsoft 365 Business Basic up to E3 all has the web apps, or you can utilize the installed versions as well to be able to work on it directly from your computer and not go through the web apps itself. You can use the paid version, the non 365 version of Office, I recommend to have at least the 2016 version to utilize it. Technically speaking, you can utilize 2010 to co-author documents, but that is no longer supported by Microsoft, so I'm not going to recommend you to utilize 2010 or 2013. You can have the 2016 version of Office to co-author documents. And lastly, you need to make sure to have everything in a modern file format. Again, this is done by default most of the time when working in Word files, Excel files, PowerPoint, your DocX, your XLSX, and your PPTX for PowerPoint, such as you can't share a document co-authored that is a CSV file or something along those lines. You can't co-author those. They have to be a modern file format. Now, with this Lunch and Learn, we are going to jump into more of kind of a demo format instead of going through this in a PowerPoint. But I'm going to cover here, there's multiple different ways to share and collaborate on the documents itself. And I'm going to go through a couple of different tips I have for this. You can share documents through applications, through email and link. You can share from Teams from a link as well, or through email through Teams. And you can also save the document to his Teams or SharePoint repository where people already have access. And that's actually how I like to utilize it, because I put all my documents in a shared directory. And I'll show you that here right now. So let me jump over to my demo site and just to kind of framework what we're looking at here. So we're going to have 3 users. So we have Windows 10-D2 is my demo 2 account. My Windows 10-D3 is my Windows demo 3 account, both on in a actual laptop or a Windows device. And then I'm going to, for fun of it, I'm going to have a web version logging in for my demo 4 account. So 3 people being able to work simultaneously in a document itself. So that's going to be the layout of this demo today. So first off, we're going to talk about sharing a document from an application. So from my demo 3 account, I'm going to center this so you can probably see it a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and open up a Word document. And once this opens up, put it here. I'm going to go, I need help on this team. All right, so I need help on this team. So what I'm going to do is multiple different ways to share this document. You have a share button up here, which will hit share. You can hit the share, and it doesn't have any other options right here, copy, manage access, because it has been saved into a cloud repository, your Teams, your OneDrive, your SharePoint. So if I click share up here again and click share, it's going to ask me to save it. I want to save it into OneDrive. I'm already signed in. I'm going to go ahead and call this test 5. And it's going to say just a moment before you can share this, we're uploading your document. Now, what's going on down here, if you see this little button swiggly line here, is it is saving it through OneDrive. OneDrive syncing this up to the system. Now it's saved into my OneDrive, and now I can share this with my team. So I'm going to go ahead and share this as an email. So I can put in here, I want to share this with demo 2. And I'm going to share this with demo 4. I'm going to pop their names in here. Now, if you wanted to, you can click on this little settings button, and it gets you more options of what you want to do as far as how you want to share this document. You have options such as share with anybody, doesn't require sign-in. I don't recommend doing this. In fact, this is typically not enabled on most people's 365, but since this is my demo account, I had it enabled for it. I recommend when you're sharing with outside individuals, you share it with a direct name. That way it can't be shared anonymously through anybody, and then you have no control of who's accessing that document. You have the capability of sharing with people in your firm. So everyone that is in my company, I have labeled here, Tomorrow's Firm Today, would have access to this document to do what I deem the setting of can edit. You can actually select in here, review or just view, but for the demo of co-authoring a document, I want to make sure they have edit rights. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit rights. So you can do people with existing access, which would be people that have already access to your OneDrive location if you're sharing it there, or into a Teams repository or SharePoint location, or your people you chose, which that's what I went ahead with. So I'll go ahead and click apply. You can see demo 2 and demo 4. Please help me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the send button. And now this send button is going to send them an email with a link to that document itself. Now, while that's going through in email, I'm going to show you how to share it with a link. Now, Microsoft makes multiple ways to kind of do the same thing. So I have my share button up here, which I just went through. You also have the capability of sharing this document by going File and hitting the share button right here. And that share button right there does the exact same thing. You're going to see the exact same format pop up here. And I want to go ahead and copy this link, but I'm going to say, hit this button, the settings button. I'm going to say, I want to have everyone in my firm have access to this link. So now whoever gets this link within my organization can access and edit, because that's the setting I have, this file itself. So I can go ahead and copy this link. And if I wanted to with this copy this link, I can share that through email, or I can even come down to my Teams right here, click on my chat. And I'm going to bring up a chat with my demo 2 and demo 4. And I'm going to go ahead and paste this right into there. Close out of this. Paste the link. You'll see it says my test 5 document is now being sent off to those people that want them to actually work on this document together. So let me jump over to my demo 2 account. So my demo 2 account, you can see I already got a link here from Teams saying, please help me. And I have my Outlook already open. And I have demo 3 has shared this file with me. So let me go ahead and open this up. And I will get there. I need help with this file. Perfect. So now that is operational right there. So let's go ahead and get some information into this. So I'm going to bring up a tool. And drop some information directly into this file. Window. One page on Astro. So let's go ahead and throw some information directly onto the sheet. Wait for it to populate. And today we're going to talk about let's go ahead and make this document about astrophysics. So that sounds like it's going to be a fun topic to talk about. So we're going to copy this information in here. Boom, boom. Pop it in. All right, so here's this document we're going to be working on together, all about astrophysics. So I have this in here as the demo 2 account has put this in. So I'm going to pop over to my other teams and bring up my demo 4 account. And as you can see here, my demo 3 account now has that same document with all that edits going on. I'm going to bring up my demo 4 account. This is this account right here. I'm going to go to their Outlook, and this one will have an invite as well of showing me that I have access to this file. And it's that same file right there. Great. So now that we have that up and operational, I'm going to show you, we'll get back to how we want to do some co-authoring through that as well. You can share the link through Teams, which I kind of showed you as well, of how you can actually share that link right there, but also like the ability to save documents in Teams, SharePoint, and folder where people already have access. Now, looking back at how people utilize Microsoft, utilize on the local network, they would usually have a file repository, which would have a shared drive, your H drive, your S drive, maybe F for finance or something like that. And people would have access to specific files based on the groups they were associated to as far as group membership within Active Directory. You can do similar types of things with Teams, and I recommend taking a look at that, especially when you want to kind of get to more of this co-authoring, working more in a collaborative type method with Teams and SharePoint. You can create SharePoint folders and structures that almost mimic what you have as far as locally shared structure on your file server today. So for me, I work 100% in that at the Intiva location. I love having all my team sites that kind of mimic what the shared drive structure looks like. I have a remote workforce that can always jump in there and grab the information and work on it in a collaborative type way. And it's always synced up. They don't have to worry about logging in from a specific location because they can access it directly through their 365 login. Now with this demo site, we have a Teams group we have created. Jump in here, click on Teams. And I have a Teams group right here. And this will bring up some files that are within this Teams site right here. Now, granted, this has 2 files. Your organization probably has thousands of files and hundreds of folders, which will show up in this directory right here. But this first purpose of demo, this is one of the demos I did, I think actually back in 2022 on Power Automate of how to bring laptop orders directly into a actual workflow. And this is that document right here. So I can click on this laptop orders, and this user document demo 3 can access because they already have access to this Teams location. Just like when I come into my demo 2 account, I can take a look at here, and they actually have this location synced to their computer already. So I take a look at Teams firm, tomorrow's firm today, into the Teams group general location. I have those two files synced to their computer right now. Now, it's very important to notice you got some status right here. You have this little green checkbox. That means that the file itself has been already downloaded to that machine. And then you have the blue open cloud right here, which means that this is in the cloud. So the book-copy means it's actually in Microsoft 365 SharePoint cloud. And what I'm looking right here is just a thumbnail aspect of a shortcut to get to the file. So if I was able to click on the file right now, it will actually go through and do a quick download. You can see the little link right here, quickly downloaded that file to my computer. And now I have this file on my computer and I can access this file right here. So I can see here, I'm in this file for the demo 2, and I can come into my demo 3 account, do the same thing. He already has it already on this computer as well. Click on the book-copy and open up that same file right there. So since we both have access to that file already through Teams group association, they can access and collaborate those together. So there's multiple different ways to actually share documents so you can get into the co-author capability. The best part about it is Microsoft makes it the same way for the applications for your Excel, your PowerPoint, your Word. If I didn't already have this saved in the location, you can see here, I'm in Excel, same steps I gave before. You click on your share a link, and you got that same look you had from Word. So it makes it so it's similar between all the applications. So you don't have to learn a new way to share structures depending on what application set you're in today. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit. Now that you have shared the file and making it work within a collaborative type of way, how do you work in a collaborative tips? Let's go ahead and make sure you understand some of the key ways to work within a shared document. So I think the best thing to do first is understand who's in that document and who's working in it at a certain time, because maybe not all the time you're doing a Teams chat or on the phone. You might just be working in the file together, and it's always good to know who is in that document. So let me jump back over to my example about astrophysics. And I'm going to be here. I'm in my demo 3 account. And at the top of the document right here in Word, I can see a couple circles. If I put my mouse over it, this represents the people that are in that document at this moment in time, not who's shared to it, but who is currently in that document. So I had demo 4, they're on page 1, and demo 3 or demo 2 is on page 1 as well. So I can see who is accessing that document. And vice versa, I'm going to jump over to my demo 2 account. I'm going to jump into my Word application because I think he's viewing it right here. And I see right here, I'm on my demo 2 account. So I'm going to see demo 3 has a document open and demo 4 is in as well. So no matter what, all these people working on the document together can see who's accessing it. And the other piece of the puzzle I like to find out is where are they currently working in that document at a moment in time. So you have multiple different ways to do it. So on this one within demo 2, I can already see a couple different little icons right here. So if I put my mouse over it, it tells me demo 4 is right at the beginning of this of astrophysics. So let me jump into my demo 4 account, and you can see here, I'm right there. I'm going to scroll down to advanced technologies because maybe I want to talk more about advanced technologies. My demo 4 account, I'm going to bold it and italics it and underline it. All right, so that's the mouse editing I'm doing within astrophysics at the moment in time. So let me jump back into the demo 2 account. So demo 2 account, you can see here, now I see demo 4 is no longer at the beginning of the document. I could scroll and try to find out where he is located, or I could click on the demo 4 up here and say, go to location. And that will take me to the location where demo 4 is in it. So maybe you're actually talking to somebody in Teams where you're in this document, you can go up there and select to see where they are in that document at that particular moment in time. I find it very useful more in Excel than I do in Word, because I really find when you're Excel, you want to see what maybe people's cell location is, and it'll give them the exact location. Well, let me just actually bring that up so you can see that real quick. So here I am as demo 2 in the book-copy document. And I can see that demo 3 is in the account on column I, row 9. And let's just take a look, bring up my document right here. And sure enough, I'm in that same column. So if I wanted to, I can highlight all these as demo 3, and it will soon populate over here on demos 2 account that this is the cell selection I have open. So again, it depends on what you're trying to get out of knowing where people are, but I do find it when working in Excel is very key to know what people's cell they're in and go in that direction. So I do find that tip and trick pretty handy to utilize. So now that you know where people are working on and where their presence indicator is, working within a shared type document, you might want to put in there, hey, take a look at this comment, or maybe somebody's kind of driving who should be working within certain sections of this document itself. And you should use that utilizing the comments feature. So let me go back to my demo 3. So my demo 3 account, let's jump into stellar phenomenon. I'm going to jump into this and select insert, and I'm going to do comment. So I'm going to put a comment in here. I'm going to say at demo 4. So I'm saying at this user, this is your section, please finish. I'm going to assign that to the demo 4 and hit send. So what this is going to do is going to do a couple things. One, it's going to put a comment in here. So instantly, if I jump over to my demo 4 account, I can scroll up and I can see, hey, I was put onto a comment, demo 4, this is your section, please finish it. Also, what's going to happen here momentarily, if it hasn't happened already, is an email is going to be sent out letting me know that I need to actually take a look at that. And that will come here probably momentarily. Once that comes through, I can show you what that looks like. So that will let me know that, hey, if I'm not working in that document at that moment in time, I know I need to jump in there and go to that certain section and take care of that because that's my responsibilities. Now within the demo 4 account, let me jump in. Demo 4 account, let me go over to my email. You can see here, demo 3 has assigned this task to you. And I can see that this is your section, please finish. And I can go to the comment if I didn't already have it open already, which I did right there. And now I'm directly into where that comment is. And maybe I added some information here. So I can put back to demo 3, comment. Edits are made. Please review. So this kind of takes into an idea of maybe you're not working over the phone, working through teams together, and you can kind of work collaborative through the document using the @ symbol on the comment section to make sure people have direction on what they need to do and what they're responsible for. And again, here, demo 3 will get an email shortly, letting them know that the edits have been made and to review it. So it's a good way of kind of keeping track what all is happening within the document itself. Again, this is going to work within Excel, Word, as well as PowerPoint as well, going back and forth for how to co-author a certain type of document. The next thing is tracking changes. Now I'll go off of this this document right here. We haven't made a lot of changes, so it won't have too much in here, but it's really nice to know that while all these changes are occurring, it is tracking what's going on in the background. So in case you need to revert, maybe something happened or someone uploaded something they don't want to add in there, or some Excel formatting was really kind of messed up, you have the capability of easily reverting back to the original document. So you can do this a couple ways. At the top, it has the name of the document. Here I'm in the web version, so I can click the name of the document at the top, and I can say version history. I'll go to version history, and there's a little slide bar right here, show changes. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what has changed just now. Granted, I just created this document, so almost all of this is changing. But if you take a look here at the top, remember at the beginning of this, I said I needed help on this team, and that has been crossed out because that was removed when I copied up this astrophysics document to the system of saying, hey, this is the new document I want to work on. And as I make new changes in here, it would actually fall in here. So if there's other things added, they would be crossed out depending on what version it is. And you can see here I have multiple different types of versions and who was modifying it at the same time. At the beginning of this, it was demo 3 that created this document. Demo 4 and 2 modified it, and demo 4 just modified it again by adding that @ symbol. So you have a good way of keeping track of all that's occurring. And the best part is you can restore the file yourself without having to call your help desk to make sure you can restore it. So it's all at the power of your fingertips to make this revert it back. And it will keep whatever you reverted back in there in case you need to unrevert what you changed as well. So to go through that, the key part is, let me go back to document. Click on this, go to my version history. I want to go back to my original document here. I'll go ahead and click on it. Version shifts. I can go ahead and download this if I wanted to, or I have the top button here that says restore. So I can download the same version, the copy of it if I want to save a different direction, or I can copy right over the document itself. If I click the restore button, it's going to give me an error. It says other people are working on this document. You cannot restore it while people are in it. So to restore it, you would have to let everyone know that's currently in the document. Please exit the document itself. So let's give this a try. Click OK. I'm going to have my demo 3 account get out of this document. Close out. Go to my demo 4 account, which I think the demo 2 account actually has it open as well. Word, I think it's open in the online version. Exit out of it right there. And soon, once that shows up, that is actually no one's working in it itself. From any of the people that had edit capabilities, and that's key part, anybody can do it, not just the creator of the document can restore this document. So I'm going to hit restore and see if it's actually got through it. So it might take a minute too for this to come back up in place. But once it shows that people are not in it, it will allow this document to revert right back to I need help on this team, and people can get back to working as usual. Granted, this could be a huge Excel document. It kind of goes back a different version or something along those lines, but allows people to access the document into the correct state it was. Now, the other piece here is you can move to a meeting. So say if you were kind of working in a shared environment, you're kind of doing the comment section, you're not kind of getting your information across, you can actually quickly jump into a meeting by clicking. Let me go ahead and open up this version of it, the Excel document I had. If I wanted to, I can right click on the person itself or select the person itself and join in group chat. When I do a join in group chat, this will now create a Teams chat channel for you guys to talk out of and work directly from that channel itself, and maybe have a video chat or something along those lines. So it's a really nice, easy way to open up a Teams chat directly with whomever is working in that document itself. And lastly, I want to put out here is co-authoring offline. So while you're working on this in a co-author mode, it's much easier when you're in online mode. But maybe you're traveling on a train that doesn't have internet connection, or you're on an airplane that you didn't pay for, there's no Wi-Fi or something along those lines, or it's really slow, you can't get on it. You can work on this in an offline mode, and what will happen is any of the edits that you're making to the document will be uploaded once you get to a internet connection. The key part, though, is knowing you need to work on the document while you're in the offline mode. So if I am back in this document right here, these both say checked. So if I had one that was beforehand in the cloud state, which I think probably will still have one with the demo 2 account, let's see. Now they both say I have that, but if I had the blue check here, which represents that it is in a cloud state, that means it's up in the cloud. And if I'm remote, I won't be able to access that information at the moment in time when I want to access it. So what you need to do is if you're traveling, you need to work on certain documents, you can right click and set always keep on this device. That will make sure that no matter what, that file will always be on your device and at the latest edition before you were disconnected. I recommend doing this on potential folder structures if you want to. So if you have like maybe a My Documents folder that you always want to have access to wherever you are, you can select that whole document itself to be on your computer. But beware, it is on your computer at the time and will take up space. One of the beauties part of this file process they have in here is it does not save all the documents to your computer. So it saves on hard drive space. So it allows you to synchronize terabytes of data if you wanted to your computer, but without actually utilizing terabytes of space, because it's just using pointers back to the repositories in SharePoint, Teams, or OneDrive to access that information. So it's a good way to limit the amount of space on your computer. But when you're traveling, definitely recommend trying to take a look at the always keep on this device. That way you can work in a co-author type mode. So now that we kind of got in through some of the co-authoring tips and tricks, I want to make sure that people are aware of some of the limitations. And I kind of mentioned one of these as we're going along. And the first one is internet connectivity. So you definitely have to have internet connectivity when you're trying to work in a collaborative type experience. With understanding you can work in the offline mode, but none of the syncs will happen until you actually get back to the online type of mode, wherever you're kind of landed at that moment in time. However, if you have an unstable internet connection, it could lead to some hindered experience as far as the real-time collaboration, because some of the syncs might not happen correctly back up to the system. So while somebody thinks something is already on your edition, because your internet might be going up and down, you might not see it until your internet does come up. So making sure you have a stable internet connection is definitely a good thing here. Also, feature compatibility. Now, some advanced features like formatting or content types might not be fully supported in a co-authoring mode. Now, basic text and formatting will work seamlessly. Certain complex elements might not display or function as expected when multiple people are editing documents simultaneously. And this is going to come, I think, more important with really large Excel sheets, working with huge functions within Excel. Now, next one is conflicts and edits. Now, Microsoft does a good job of limiting the amount of conflicts that are happening and having some automated interventions to make sure everything is working appropriately. But there could be cases when you need to make the intervention yourself. And when that happens, you're going to get a icon here on your OneDrive that has a big X on it. And you can select it, and it will come up saying a OneDrive sync issue, and you can click the button. It will give you a couple options. It'll let you know if you want to keep both editions. That way it will have both editions copied there with a different name, or that you want to open the document and pick and choose what you want to add into the document itself. So you can kind of correct those conflicts yourself. Now, it does happen few and far between, but it allows you to know if that does occur, which I find very handy. The next thing to do is third-party add-ins. Now, third-party add-ins and plugins used within Microsoft 365 applications might not be fully supported for co-authoring. And then this could result in unexpected behavior or limitations when multiple people are working on documents together. Again, I think it's going to come in more in play with 365 Excel. If there's a lot of different accounting applications, the backend that are updating information, and with a co-author type ability, co-author situation, it might not update it correctly. So you want to make sure that those things are approved in a co-authoring type format. The next one here is, I feel kind of a little bit obvious, but it's the privacy and security. So if you're sharing this document with somebody, they should have the capability of seeing what's on that document. So it's upon you to make sure that whatever you're putting out there, presenting and sharing with your team, those people or individuals should have the ability and should see that information. Microsoft doesn't know that some sort of privacy law is in place and you put some content into that file. That's upon you as the individual knowing who you should be sharing this information with. And lastly, I have here is the learning curve. New users that have not used the co-authoring features might have a limited experience when kind of coming in here and utilizing these type of documents. And so I really think some along the lines of going through some Microsoft training is always key. And this, again, I kind of talked about this in a handful on Lunch and Learns, but I want to make sure everyone's aware. This already is the capability of learning more about co-authoring is in Intiva's training as a service type program here. So I'm going to share this real quick so you can see it. Across. So I'm going to open up our e-training portal. And this brings up our big course library of Microsoft stuff, as well as additional training that's non-Microsoft. And so within the session search, I can just go ahead and just type in co-authoring. And it will bring me up all the training with co-authoring that's out there. I can see here, there's multiple 60 different lessons that mention co-authoring. So lessons, co-authoring with SharePoint documents in OneDrive, checking out and co-authoring a file. Here's another one using OneDrive mobile app. I can jump into the SharePoint side here, and it gives me a list of all the information that's going to happen with this document itself in this share. All video-based training that's easy to use, and I like to utilize it as more of a on-demand type training where people can jump in here and see what they want to learn about and learn about it quickly. These are all around 2-minute type videos and allow more functionality for your employees to understand these capabilities that are already built into Microsoft and take advantage on their daily basis. And I think that comes to the end of our Lunch and Learn today, going about the co-authoring documents within the Microsoft framework. If anyone has any questions about this, please put that into the Q&A section. Happy to answer any questions you might have. So far, it doesn't look like we have any questions. I'll go ahead and keep it open for another minute. I don't see any other questions coming through, so I think that's going to bring us to the end of our Lunch and Learn for August. I look forward to talking with all of you next month, and I really appreciate your time joining me today, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.